What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday at the RSM Classic. I know it might be not as exciting as Tuesday at Augusta or Tuesday at the Masters, like I said last week, but still, we're playing for some pretty life-changing money here this week at the RSM Classic. $300,000 to first place on DraftKings, a $25,000 first place on FanDuel. In this video, as we're changing up our content here at Awesemo a little bit, this is going to be the top 5 sleeper picks this week. And how we define sleeper here, well, it's pretty simple. As long as they're projected to be under 10% owned by Awesemo, of course, on our Awesemo projected ownership, then they qualify as a sleeper. Want to know the entire field's ownership projections? Well, great time to become an Awesemo Plus member. We've got 2 really good tournaments coming up here in the fall swing. When I say really good is because the fields are really great comparatively to years past. Then, of course, we start right back away on January 1st with the Tournament of Champions, and we don't stop until like next November. So we've got maybe 2 weeks off in the upcoming 6 weeks, and then we're back again for almost 11 months straight. So some great golf. Join us on the Awesemo Plus side. Just $8.95 for the week, $29.95 for an Awesemo Plus weekly Platinum Pass. That's going to get you access to all of the sports we got here, including PGA DFS, NFL DFS, and so much more. So for this video, like I said, we're going to go over 5 sleeper picks for the upcoming week for the RSM Classic. And we're going to start off with Zach Johnson, a local resident. There's so many local residents here this week, so when I say that, it's kind of arbitrary because it's almost everybody. Not quite everybody, but Zach Johnson, 8,000 this week, coming in at 6.7% owned, which I feel is really low owned for a guy that has multiple top 10s here in the last 5 years. Granted, 61st last year, 8th the year before that. But his recent form, okay, maybe 51st at the Masters and 50th at the Houston Open is not something we should get excited about. But prior to that, he'd come in with multiple top 10s, a handful of top 25s, plus, of course, obviously that he knows quite well. Just found that the ownership seemed to be quite lower than I expected it to become above 10% as a guy that people could trust, especially not that pricey at a home course. So when we look at his strokes gain rate, why this course might be good for him, well, we know that off the tee doesn't matter, and we see that off the tee is the worst part of his game, ranked 167th on the year, 28th on approaches, 85th around the green, and 20th in strokes gained putting, as does Zach Johnson's game go. Listen, when you don't hit the ball 400 yards, you need to be good with your other clubs, especially your putter. And Zach Johnson over his career has certainly been that and has had a bit of a career resurgence with the putter here in the last 3 months or so. So look, Zach Johnson, 6.7% owned, 8,000, a really nice sleeper pick for your GPP lineups this week. The second guy I want to talk about is CT Pan. CT Pan coming off his first top 10 at a major and a top 10 at Augusta last week. He played fantastic for all intents. He said he was so excited to play, and he's got a course that he's done pretty well on. The reason why he was at Augusta, that happens to just be, just a few miles north, not that much, maybe an island or 2 up in Hilton Head, as he won the RBC Heritage last year. So seaside courses certainly seem to be a liking of CT Pan. He had a missed cut here last year, but that's when he was going through his career, or a rut. I shouldn't say career rut, season rut. Just went through a period of time where he couldn't make any cut. But the 2 prior trips to Seaside Island before the missed cut was a 13th place finish and an 8th place finish for CT Pan. So certainly has some good history here. 58th at the U.S. Open. I mentioned the 7th at the Masters. His putting has been pretty good this year, ranked 54th, 90th in around the green, and 92 on the approach. As I just mentioned, he is terrible off the tee. He ranks 213th. Speaking of ranking terrible off the tee, our third golfer, Alex Noren, he has had a wacko season to start. He ranks last off the tee. Let's start off with that in strokes gained. But he's had a really rocky last 3 starts. He came in last place at the Zozo Championship. It was a no-cut event. Bounced back with a 17th place finish in, I believe, his next start, and then missed the cut at the Houston Open pretty poorly. So all over the map right now. That's probably why his ownership only going to be about 4.3%. That's why I believe he's a sleeper this week. Plus, we know that off the tee isn't going to matter. We know that fairways are very easy to hit, and that's probably why he had a 10th place finish here last year. You give this guy fairways to hit off of and a good putting week, and certainly he can contend with the best of them. So Alex Noren, 7,600 at 4.3% owned. Funny enough, Matt Wallace, the fourth golfer that I'm going to talk about here, is that exact same price and pretty much that exact same projected ownership, 7,600 and 4.3%. It is Matt Wallace's first trip out to the Golden Isles, at least to play golf, here at the RSM Classic. Doesn't have any course history, but in his recent starts, he had a real good chance at Augusta to make a run towards the top 10 on Sunday, but a early triple bogey and another couple bogeys added on to the triple bogey early in his round really set him back. So he came in 46th, but still a pretty good week. Scored over 76 DraftKings points. Had a couple of eagles in there as well, so a pretty good week for all intents for him. 48 the week before, but his third start ago, he had a chance to win it there on the European Tour, so certainly the form doesn't seem to be that far off. And he only has one start on the PGA Tour for this year, so the strokes gained numbers are very skewed. 111th off the tee, 15th on the approach, 171 around the green, and 237 putting. But I assure you, he is not one of the worst putters on tour. In fact, when all is said and done, he's probably one of the best putters on tour. So expect that to certainly switch here in the upcoming weeks. Or maybe not upcoming weeks. He might not get that many starts, so probably sometime in February we'll see that readjust. All right, the last golfer I want to talk about here in the sleeper section is one of my favorites, Will Gordon. And here's a guy, $7,000 price, so up $600 from his Houston Open performance, but 2.7% projected ownership. And the reason why I want to talk about him is because on Sunday at the Houston Open, he had just two big numbers, which is kind of Gordon's MO lately. But his iron play was superb. Everything that he hit on the green was inside of 10 feet. He missed a couple of 5-footers even for birdie in that round. It really seems like the game is coming together. His two most recent starts, he came in 38th and 34th. And in each of those starts, really outscored his finishing position. So 2.7% owned, $7,000, and came in 10th here last year, earning himself another start in helping him get what became a special temporary membership, which turned in, of course, to the PGA Tour non-member for this season, which allows him to get in most events. Similar to what Doc Redman played out of last year. Now Doc Redman is a full member. Gordon is definitely on that same trajectory, and another good finish here this week would go a long way to it. In his limited starts on tour, we know that he's one of the best off the tee, ranked 24th here early in the season. 185th on his approaches. They're coming around, as I mentioned last time out. 240th around the green and 140th in putting, but certainly when he gets hot, he is a little bit better than that. So that's going to do it here for my first ever 5 sleepers pick for the RSM Classic. Of course, we'll do this each and every week. What we're trying to do is help you guys build out better lineups and quicker, getting you the information you need as fast as possible and giving you unique content, not recycled content or stuff that I might already use. But of course, if you are looking for more free content for PGA DFS, check out my first cut article that is live and free now for the RSM Classic, which goes over a little bit about the course, the tournament, some other players here in the field. Then, of course, check out my fit and form article, which gives you all of the course history and all of the recent form for every golfer in the field. There's 156 of them here this week for the RSM Classic. And that's what I have live now coming up, of course, on Wednesday morning Against the Grain, which gives a full look at ownership, not just this little short 10-minute video, but a full look at ownership and the pivot plays that you can find for this slate. So thanks for joining my 5 sleeper pick video for Awesemo.com, part of the Awesemo Golf PGA DFS weekly content series. So thanks all for joining, and hopefully you guys strike gold here this week at the RSM Classic, and we will see you on the other side. Cheers.